That would be good. I always take a lot of notes.
So I'm gonna take it too.
Hi, Sunny.
Hello, how are you?
Good, down in Marco today with one of our KW Marco peeps. This is Susan.
That is awesome. Hi, Susan.
Hi.
And that's Sunny.
So, Denise, how do I sound? Because I'm on I'm on a headphones noise canceling, and I sound like I'm screaming. Am I screaming on your end?
You're not screaming. It doesn't sound like that at all. I don't think so. Do you?
No, not at all.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Oh, we have an agent there, Kristen. I don't know if she's in the office today, but we have a great agent there named Kristen as well.
Were you at the thing in the office with Morgan and Brett?
I was, but I had to leave at noon, so I was there until noon.
Oh, okay. I got there late, so I probably missed you. I was there. I don't know.
You probably took my chair. I sat in the back because I knew I had to leave early, but there was only one chair left when I was there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I had to. I was standing and I'm not really looking around as much.
So today is going to be a little bit different. Denny is in Europe, and he's actually he's on the trip with his wife and John Maxwell. So it's going to be one of Kristen's wonderful agents from the Kristen Cole Network, one of her top agents, and we're going to be handling objections again, but we really want some participation from the agents as far as objections, because we know it's changing a lot right now. So if you could think of some seller or buyer objections for a very market of the moment, we would appreciate it.
Okay. We just,
All right.
I have a listing down here in Marco, and Susan's been doing a lot of the open houses with me. And we just got price reduction number 4. That's
wow. Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, so we're happy to talk and, from our point of view. And I can never remember, it's isolate, acknowledge, and then what's the C?
So the first one is address. Oh, wait, now you just messed me up. Hang on.
Acknowledge or address.
Wait a minute. Address. Oh, wait, no, it's isolate, address. No, wait. I'm sorry. Isolate. Yeah. Acknowledge.
Acknowledge, isn't it like, okay.
Acknowledge. Yeah, I can't believe I'm all messed up. Acknowledge, isolate, address, and close.
Okay.
So acknowledge, isolate, address, and close.
Okay, I can never remember because, I'm teaching in our market center, I think in 2 weeks, on handling objections, but I'm just going to tell, and I already texted Denny, I'm like, do you mind if I promote your class? Because I'm just going to say this is what I've learned from Denny, and I think it's a great way, and you should all be in his class.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. You're amazing. All right, so I'm going to get ready. I've got to get on YouTube and stuff, so I will be back.
Okay. So that's what they do. So it's it's kind of like,
isn't it in the morning?
it's similar, yeah. So acknowledge, I get it, but don't necessarily agree with that. But okay, I understand, or, other than that, is there any other reason why you wouldn't list right now? Okay, if they tell you blah, 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 okay, other than that, is there any other reason? And you keep going, and then you address them, which to me is where I get tongue-tied, and then close it. So those to me are the tougher steps. I can, acknowledge and isolate all day.
It's listening, agreeing, but thinking it, and
Right.
trying to get that one step ahead while they're doing the talking.
Right. Yep.
That's where Bruce, I can hear, he's so good. He goes by MREA, well, if I told you this, then would that make things different if I told you that?
Yep.
I'm not coming up with it right now, but he comes up with it just like this. I think it's just that MREA book, They. and
Yeah,
they
I love that
say-
MRA.
And they say the script, you're supposed to read it 100 times. Go over those scripts.
I have,
100 times.
yeah. I haven't read them all, but I mean, I've read that MRA book like
Yeah,
5 or 10 times.
I bet, honestly, God, I haven't been able to really, too much going on, my time between the class and.
Right, like, if they want, objections, like, right now, I'm finding, like, everyone wants to sell. I'm not, but I think the objection I still have the most trouble with is, I need to think about it over the weekend, I need to think about it.
Jackie, the two girls.
Jackie Ellis?
No, Jackie, her name is gone. She's here with the office. It's Jackie's last name. She's the one who's telling me that it's quite good. I see her all, I'm with her all the time. I can't think of the last name. So Jackie's last name is, and she's from Massachusetts like me.
Are they gonna talk to anybody? Do you need a realtor?
Oh,
Go see.
yeah, those are ones I host. United All Legal. Can I help you? Yeah, we have, the Title Alliance here, Bonnie.
Oh, so you
So
go.
they have an appointment with her, and how this came out.
Do you get many walk-ins though here? I don't think any offices,
No,
like anywhere.
I know, I
I
think
don't
those
think
days
people
are
walk
gone.
in,
No,
yeah.
the walk-in is on this.
Yeah,
Everybody, look at those guys from, what's it called, oh my goodness. There's the three guys that do all that, how do you know? It's all on Facebook, 64 million in 2 years. And they didn't spend a penny, and
Good morning, Sonny. Hi, Sonny.
Hello. Hi, Dawn. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
All right. I can hear you. Are you alive, excited, and full of energy?
I'm alive, excited, and full of energy and ready to conquer today. Yes.
Woohoo!
Woo-hoo.
All right. We have about 2 minutes.
Okay.
We have Denise, if you want to introduce yourself today. Dawn is going to be the guest speaker for Denny.
Hi, Dawn, you're speaking today?
I am.
I was just saying to Susan, I'm like, he's so good at this. I want to bring you on my list appointments with me if you were in Florida. And I'm in Marco today. I have a client in this market, although I'm based in Fort Myers. So Susan is a newer agent in the Marco Market Center. So we just had a brunch with my client. We just got price reduction number 4. Hopefully that'll do the trick. So Susan said she'd come along to this as well today.
It's my first time on. I've been meaning to jump on, so I'm really excited to be here today with all of you.
Cool. Sonny, how many do we have so far?
We have 7 so far. They usually come in around 101. They start pouring in.
Okay.
So if you just want to go around and introduce yourself, we have Glinda, Dean, Judy, and Keith. You guys want to come off mute and introduce yourselves to Dawn, and then let us know if you have any objections right now, market of the moment, that you want us to handle.
I know Keith from KCN. I don't know Dean or Glenda, I don't think.
Yeah, Dean Shackley with the Kane Luxury Team, Keller Williams, Naples.
Hi, Dean.
Thanks for putting this on.
Well, let's just be very clear. I am no Denny Grimes. Okay, we all know that. I'm the first one to admit that. So, but I got Sonny, so you know we're covered. We're covered.
There
Yeah.
we go.
And I heard, I don't know if you guys know, Denny's a pilot. I don't know if you guys knew that, because you know when he says land the plane, he is a pilot. And so I guess the reason I'm filling in today is rumor has it he is teaching Tom Cruise Maverick how to fly for the next Top Gun 3.
Oh my God, wow.
That's hilarious.
You can tell him I said that.
Okay, I love that. I love
Yeah. Okay. So does anybody have, as Sonny said, does anybody have a market of the moment? Do you have an objection? I've got my notes from a lot of calls here. We can kind of go and do a greatest hits, a Denny Grimes greatest hits if you want. You know, the thing in real estate that I've learned in 36 years, there are no new objections. You know, they're the same objections that they gave 100 years ago. The only difference is we have to know the answers, and sometimes one answer isn't going to be good enough. And what's great about this, what I get from these calls is, man, if you have 3 or 4 or 5 different ways to answer the same objection, you know, not that you're beating people up, but you're just kind of softly jabbing them, right, with reasoning and logic, and you eventually get to a point where they go, okay, no mas. So that's where you want to, you want to be able to have 5 or 6 answers to, what will you cut your commission? And sometimes you could say no, any other questions, and okay, that works. But what happens if that doesn't? You got to have some backup. So that's why I encourage you, as you go, through future calls with Denny, have a folder full of notes, right? And take notes on this, and then you can use these to study them and rehearse and drill and practice and get better. So anyway, that's my
So speaking of notes, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so speaking of notes, while we have everyone logging in right now, let's go over our formula because I cannot pull it up
Okay.
on my phone. So let's go over the formula so everybody can write it down and we can follow that formula. And then we'll start with Denise's objection first.
Okay, so the number one on Denny's model, who can tell us what's number one when you get an objection?
Acknowledge,
Acknowledge, right. Number two,
isolate,
isolate would be correct. She's on a roll. Number three,
Address.
address or answer the objection. And number four,
Close.
land the plane, right? So, and again, we all get off on that. So Sonny, feel free to jump right in and, interrupt any of us if we're going down a bunny path that we shouldn't do that. And again, once somebody gives the acknowledge, how do we acknowledge? What's the key statement that we say when we show acknowledgement?
I understand.
What else?
I get it,
What else? I'm giving you an objection. Here's my objection. So you say, I understand, I get it, but then you say what?
What I'm hearing you say is there anything else that's keeping you from making the decision? Are there
That's
anything
closer,
else?
Patricia. Begins with an O. Einstein, what's the answer? Other than that.
Other than that,
Those are like, I love you. Those are the three words that are going to pay you a lot of money. Other than that, Keith, other than that, Patricia, other than that, Dean, is there anything else that would prevent us from going into business together today? Is there anything else that's preventing you from buying that home? Is there anything else causing you not to list your home with me today? Other than that? Well, yeah, there is one other thing. Okay, anything else, right? Other than that, and I'm still training myself, other than that, right? To the point where your spouse or your girlfriend or your boyfriend gets sick of that. Other than that, is there any other reason why we shouldn't go see that movie? Other than that. Okay.
All right, so let's start with Denise. Give us your objection that you're handling right now that we can use the model with.
I need to think about it.
You need to think about the objection, or is that the objection? I need to think about it.
Thanks for coming and seeing me today. I like what you've said, but I've got a couple more realtors that I need to interview that are coming, and I just need to think about it.
Okay, so Denise is a seller. Who wants to be the agent? Patricia, you up for it?
yes.
I knew you would be. Okay. So remember, she's a seller. So there's one thing we want to start out with, even before other than that. What do we want to ask her? What do we want to determine?
I want to know where her motivation is as far as selling. Does she have to sell?
And the motivation before motivation, though, is she selling or is she renting?
Oh,
Right?
yes.
I think we know she's selling. So, but remember, if you don't know, well, I guess that goes more on a buyer. But are you selling, renting, keeping? So, all right. So we know Denise is a seller, but make sure you find out that does she need to sell in order to buy?
Buy. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So roll with that. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you for having me here, Denise. And based on what you're saying is that you're not sure if this is a good time to sell. You're not sure if you're looking to sell.
No, I'm ready. I'm ready to sell. I just can't sign a listing. I can't sign your contract today. I just need some time to think about it, and I have a couple more realtors that are coming in.
Okay, so thank you for that. So what I heard you say, so I'm on the same page with you, is that you definitely want to sell your home. However, you're at the point now that you're looking at other agents, so you can interview them as well, and you just want to sleep on it and then make a decision after that, correct? Did I summarize, and am I on the same page?
Exactly. Right now, you're the first agent I've seen. I like everything you have to say, but I do have two more lined up over the next week. And then once I meet all of them, I'll be making that final decision.
Okay. other than wanting to interview other agents, is there anything else that I need to provide for you, or you have any other questions?
No, no.
Okay, so outside the fact that you want to interview other agents, which is a really great strategy, and I commend you for that, what are the most important things that you're looking for in an agent?
Their marketing plan, what they think it should be priced at, and their commission.
Okay. Other than those three things, the marketing plan, the price that should price your home at, and the commission that they're going to charge. Those are the things that you're looking for in your agent.
Yes.
That you're going to compare it. Okay, based on that, so help me understand, what are you looking for, or what is your ideal of what is a good marketing plan?
Well, someone that's going to do a lot of open houses and, market it quite aggressively to get me the top price.
Okay, great. So you're not opposed to having open houses, is what I'm hearing.
No, I want them, every day would be great.
Oh, okay. No, that's different. And so that's a great thing. Being aggressive, that is quite important. So help me understand when you're talking about the price. I know everybody, when we sell, we want the top dollar. So the information that I share with you with the comps and things of that nature, how comfortable are you with those price points, that range?
Well, you said that you can get me $1 million. But I'd like to see, if other agents feel they can get me $1.1 million or $1.2 million.
Okay, I'm gonna say timeout, okay?
Okay.
Because we're going off into like a whole presentation.
Okay.
And I don't know, and again, I don't know that we ever to answer the objection. What is the objection really? Price, marketing, commission, open houses, and all that? What was the real objection?
Her real objection, she wanted to sleep on it, and she wanted to interview other agents.
Did she ever, I wrote down, did she ever say the word sleep on it?
She wanted to think about it. And then she said.
But she never said sleep on it. This is what I'm picking up from Denny. I didn't hear her say sleep on it. Those were your words in your head.
Uh-huh.
And that's where we like Denny said, don't put words into their thought process.
Right.
The objection is she wants to talk to other agents, or the objection is I want to think about it. So
right.
How can we go back to that? So I would just, before I go off into all that, because you're going down a long bunny trail, right? That she's never going to remember all that, Patricia.
Okay.
So does anybody else have anything they would want to add? Because I've got a couple of thoughts. I would go right to the objection.
I would have jumped in at when she said, oh, maybe the other agents can get me 1.2. I would have been, if I can get you 1.2, would you sign with me right now?
That's better. That's more direct. That's answering the objection. So that's kind of where I was going. So Denise, other than that, we've already established that you're talking to other agents. If we could tonight, if I could show you how I can net you more money in a short period of time with very little hassle to you, would there be anything to prevent you from signing the contract with me tonight?
Well, I just would like to hear from some other agents. I was always, everything I do, like if, I always go and get 3 quotes.
And I appreciate that. And obviously we all have the same comparatives. Let me ask you this. Do you think you're going to hear, truthfully, do you think you're going to hear anything different from another agent that we're going to go over tonight?
I don't know, maybe not. Maybe,
Okay.
maybe the commission, maybe.
All right. So what I'd like to propose is this, because this could save you time, and time is very valuable in this market. We could go ahead and sign the contract tonight. You can go ahead and sleep on it. You can even interview these other agents. And if you feel that they honestly are going to do a better job than me, You call me, I'll tear up the contract, and you have no obligation to me whatsoever. But in the meantime, I can get started with marketing and get this property on the market while you're interviewing these other agents. How does that sound?
And no obligation if I can cancel if I'm not, if for whatever reason I hear from a different agent?
You can cancel anytime, but we do need to sign the contract tonight so I can get started, and then we can move forward. How's that sound?
Sure.
Okay, great. Here's the press hard. There used to be 3 copies. And now what somebody else might say is, well, what do I tell these other agents?
Right, what shall I tell these other agents?
So Denise, what I could do, and I don't mind doing this, do it all the time. I can call those other agents and I can say, hey, Keith, I'm giving you a courtesy call. I know you had an appointment to meet with Denise tomorrow night. I met with her today. She liked you a lot, but I did take her listing tonight, and we just want to give you the opportunity. It's not going to hit the market for a few more days, but I want to give you advance opportunity on all the other agents that you could show the property before it hits MLS.
Okay, that would be good. I'd rather you call them than me.
Absolutely. I'm happy to do that. So who are you meeting with? And
Yeah, okay, yeah.
you get their names and numbers, and that's a fun call to make. And it takes them out of, it saves them time. So
Right.
Patricia, you were good going, but you were going into a listing presentation, and I sense that you were getting off of the objection versus, hey, like Keith said, hey, if I can show you that I can do the job, is there anything else to prevent us from signing up tonight? Let's go. I'll take care of those agents.
Yeah, and the point that she told me it was $1 million and something is what she was looking for. So I could have closed on that like you did.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
to isolate it.
Anybody else? Any feedback on that?
We just did that objection yesterday and you answered it exactly how all the conversation went amongst all of us yesterday too.
Okay.
The
hey,
other
Keith.
point is, Don, is that she's looking for the net amount, maximum net amount in her pocket, right? And so she was talking about commission and all that stuff. Should we isolate that
No.
portion of it or no?
No, because you came on a little bit late. Her first objection was, I want to think about it because I've got other agents I think I want to talk to. That was the real objection. And you're there in person. You have an opportunity right then to get that contract signed. Because maybe you guys are different, but I can share with you in 36 years, when I walk out of that house without a contract, it's like 95% of the time I don't get that listing. But you walk out with that listing, 100% of the time you have the listing. So do what you can. Now, Keith, you brought it up, Keith. Let's have you do a backup plan. Same thing. Let's hear how you would handle that.
So, when I hear them say other agents, then I started digging into why she was thinking about other agents while talking to me. It's the same kind of thing when I have a buyer in a house and I'm showing it to them and they're thinking about another property while we're in the one they're supposed to be looking at. So you got to kind of pull them back. So, who other than price? Okay.
No, you were good. You had the right statement. I was just saying for another version of that same issue, Denise, go ahead and say, you want to think about it because you got other agents coming in. And Keith, why don't you take it from there? Just as another version, a 2.0 version of what we just did, what Patricia and I just did.
Okay.
So Denise, go ahead. Start off with that same objection.
I want to think about it. I have 2 more agents coming next week.
Okay. That's great. So what am wondering, Denise, is what are you searching for when you interview these agents?
I just always think it's good to get a few quotes, if you'd like, I always do that whenever I do anything around the house.
Right, absolutely. It's good to be thorough. So are you more concerned about like how much it'll cost versus how much you'll make, or when you're talking about getting quotes?
Right, I think I wanna look at really what am I going to make? So look at what the other agents think the price is. You've told me what you think the price is, what their commissions are. And, just pick the one that's going to make me the most money. That has the most confidence in my house. That they can make
Absolutely.
the most money.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful house. So my question to you, Denise, is do you think that, oh, I'm going to steal this one down.
Follow the
Go
model,
ahead.
follow the model,
Yeah,
follow the model.
Follow the model, right,
Oh, okay, sorry.
isolate and
Isolate.
close. Yeah.
Okay. So other than looking for getting a higher price point for profit, is there any other reason that you wouldn't sign this contract right now with me?
No.
Excellent. Excellent. I really like that you said that. If I could get you a great marketing plan that would guarantee you would have the most exposure to the property, and the buyer that's going to pay you the most money, they're out there and we just have to find them. And I have a great team that is behind me to help me catch that fish in the net. So if I can get you the most money for that property by guaranteeing you the most exposure, would you sign this contract right now?
Maybe, I guess my question is, I won't know that till I've talked to the other agents. Right now, you look great. I mean, you're my number one choice. But I
Absolutely.
don't know what those other agents might do.
Absolutely. Dude, Don, I'm going to have to steal from you, man. That was
Do it.
gold.
Do it.
Okay. So Denise, what I can do for you is if we sign this contract right now and I can get started on listing the property and the marketing and all the stuff that goes on behind it, what I can do for the other agents is contact them myself if you give me their names, and then I can give them a courtesy, a few days where they can show the property before it hits the MLS. And that way, you can see what they can bring to the table. Instead of interviewing them, we kind of do a trial session where we see what they've got, put them up to bat. And then, but I need you to sign the contract so I can get started. But if you don't like,
Hey,
or
Keith,
if you,
shorten that all
Yep.
up, because I know
Shorten
that
it
was
all
the
up.
first time. Shorten it
yeah,
up.
yeah, sure.
So again, remember what benefit is that to her for you to do that?
Right.
Okay. So she's got other agents. She's ready to sign a contract.
Yeah.
So I think the answer to the question is, well, what do I do with these other agents?
Right. So giving them the courtesy was awesome. And then so you get their names from her. And
Hey, how about use? I just had this thought. How about use Denny's? Hey, Denise, how would you like to have your cake and eat it too?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Great.
I
Then
love that line.
All
I
we have
love
to
that
do.
line.
All we have to do is there he is. I thought you were teaching Maverick how to fly in Top Gun 3.
I have time for that too.
It's a cut and pay. So Denise, how would you like to have your cake and eat it too?
Talk to me, I love that.
Awesome. All we have to do tonight then is for you to simply sign the contract, and then I will call those other agents, give them a courtesy, let them know that they can show the home in advance and save you all that time from sitting at this table and talking to them. Is that a win-win for you?
This is good.
Yeah. Say
Great.
that one more time while I'm writing it down. Hey, how would you like your cake and eat it too? Simply sign the contract tonight.
Simply sign all we have to do now is simply sign the contract, and that way you get what you want, and I'll take all those interviews and save you all that time, and I'll take care of that hassle and call those agents for you and give them the benefit to show the home before everybody else does. That way they win too. That sounds good, doesn't it?
I love it.
So Denny would probably say he would want your signature. I don't know if he would say sign the contract. Denny, are you on?
I am on, and I trust
I
you can
don't
hear me
think-
okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, so we can. So tell them, besides, because you're not a big fan of sign the contract,
Well, there's two things. Yeah, Sonny. So you're getting to know me. Every time you say sign the contract, I get chill bumps like your nails are on a chalkboard. Now I know that goes back to probably, and you guys have even got the embedded command in it, Don, which is awesome. Why do you think? Why do you think we don't say sign? Why do you think I don't say sign the contract?
Because it's very determining that that's it.
Yeah, people
Well-
don't want to sign. They want
Yeah,
to
well,
agree.
Yes, right. Well, yes, I was taught Another Generation by Tommy Hopkins, and
Right.
it's never said sign. It's always
Authorize.
endorse, authorize, okay.
Right.
So sign the contract. So I'm going to do one more thing on this role play, Don, if you don't mind. I'm
No,
in the lounge in London and waiting on our next flight, and a little bit stir crazy after being in a plane 9 hours. So I'm ready to go to Rumble. So I don't know who the other gentleman is that was role playing. Who's the listing agent?
that was Keith.
It was me, Keith.
All right, Keith, I'm coming at you now. I've been in a plane for 9 hours, so I'm going to be cranky. Okay.
All right.
So you told me about all the things you're going to do, and you're going to guarantee me the highest price or whatever.
Yeah.
How are you going to do that?
The marketing. We're going to get you the most exposure to your house and net that buyer that's going to pay the highest dollar.
Okay. So let's have a little conversation around that. So Don, may I take a few minutes and I'll turn the class back to you.
Absolutely. It's your plane, man. Here it is.
Okay. So are you okay with understanding this, Keith, right? Is that what it was,
Yeah.
Keith?
Yes, absolutely.
Now, do you believe what you say?
I do. I can't guarantee that I'm going to get him the highest price, but I think I could do just as much as any other agent with the marketing as far as the team that we've got.
Okay. So you keep going to marketing. Tell me how your marketing is going to get them more money.
Exposure.
Okay. What's different about your exposure?
It's just more extensive than most agents would maybe have access to, possibly, I guess.
So the population. I'm asking you the question. I'm not putting you on the hot seat. This is for everyone, and this is going to be. You're going to have really, really great conversations and pointed conversations to sellers when they're not getting when you build your house on marketing and you're going to do all this in a falling market. You may have to fall on that sword. So that's why I'm pressing you a little bit.
That's cool.
So then what specific marketing are you doing to get the exposure to get that seller more money?
Okay. So we market to all the major platforms, all the social media, and of course MLS, which everybody has
Okay.
access to.
I get that. So I'm not a normal seller. I'm gonna press you on this because I come from the thesis that marketing does not sell houses. So marketing doesn't sell houses.
Okay.
So if you want to talk about your marketing and so forth and so on, now that's okay. And you may have a more extensive reach. However, the success of that house selling has nothing to do with your marketing.
Right.
You're saying right. Do you believe I'm right?
I believe you're right. Absolutely. I mean, I just went with my first thought so that I didn't stumble in the role play. But yeah, I definitely don't know the answers here.
So let's talk. That's great. Well, I appreciate you being open, and I don't want to take over Don's role play here because he's doing a great job. And Sonny, let's talk. Don, I don't know do you want to morph into another conversation with maybe a seller that has high expectations, and the market may not be able to deliver that yet. The seller wants to list with the agent's going to give him the highest price.
Right.
Can you do that, Don?
Yeah, sure.
So does that fit with your schedule? I don't mean to hijack it. I just love doing this. So I want to hear what you guys are doing.
No hijack. No hijack there at all. That's fine.
So I'll sit back and listen. That's kind of the objection. You're interviewing, and I want the agent's going to give me the best price. And there you go. Take it from there, whoever you want to play.
Okay. Who wants to handle that one? Get a seller that says, I'm going to hire the agent that gives us the best price.
Yeah. Can I try?
Sure.
My name is Masha. Okay, so
Hi,
I
Masha.
understand you want to have the highest price, and let me ask you, what would you like to net for your property?
Well, that's why I have you here. So what do you think I can get for this property? And I'm going to make my decision based on the agent who can get me the most money.
Okay, well, I understand that, but I just want to make sure that after we sell your property, you net what you would like. So what is that you are looking to net after we sell this property and pay, you know, all the fees?
I want to net the most I can.
The most you can? Okay, and
Yep.
what would that do for you?
I'll put it in the bank, and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go on a cruise. I'm gonna
Okay.
take a world cruise.
Okay, and if that doesn't happen, what will that mean for you? Like if somebody cannot get you that most that you're looking for, if you get less.
Okay, I'm gonna pause here just for a moment. I love the questions. Now I want you to think. I want you to think about the question you just asked me. So, Don, you popped in for Sunny. When you heard that question, could there have been a better question at that point in time, and why?
I'm sorry, I lost you. The Zoom broke on me. Can you repeat that, please?
Yes. So I'm going to stop you. So could there have been a better question? And Don and Sunny or anybody else can pop in here.
Mhm.
What did you feel when she was asking that question? What went through your mind?
I mean, I was trying to get that if we don't list it fast, you might not even get the most because the market might be changing. So for you looking for the agent that's gonna cost you the less might actually cost you more money at the end. So I was trying to go there, but I see not very successfully.
What about the agent that's guaranteeing you a price is either guessing or lying to you?
Lying. There you go. All right. So you guys are remembering some stuff and putting the pieces together. Good job. So with this, the reason I didn't like that question is you are setting me up for, like, what if it doesn't happen? Now I interpret that as a negative question.
Okay, fair enough.
So if I think you're negative, I'm going to go to a positive agent.
Okay.
So that's awesome. So let's pick it up from there. I'll give you another minute or so, then I'll turn it back over to Don.
Okay.
There is a formula for this. I'm going to see if anybody remembers.
Okay. Okay, so you're planning to net the most that you can. I understand that. And let me ask you, if you close sooner than later, that would be better for you, right?
Now that's a leading question. Now, why would you ask it that way? Did I say that that would be better for me?
No, I just don't know what to do. I'm trying my best.
That's okay. That's okay. That's how we learn. So phone a friend. Somebody help her out.
Hey, Denny, would that be a time to get into the expectation?
Well, go ahead, take it over, Don. Go.
Okay, so Denny, let's be frank here. I can only show you what has happened. Now, yes, Don is on the right trail now. Keep going. You got it. Okay, so Denny, I can really, let's be honest. I mean, I can only show you really what has happened. Is it your expectation that I can show you what hasn't happened?
Well, I mean, I guess agents can look at things and I mean, we know the market's crazy, right? And people are getting multiple offers and over asking price. So I don't want to leave any money on the table.
Of course not. Of course, nobody does. And I guess, Denny, if I knew the numbers to Powerball too, let's go out and let's, make $1 trillion, but I don't. If an agent is putting that expectation out there, if they do that for you, they're either guessing or worse, they're lying. So the question I have for you is, do you want to work with an agent like me who's going to work off what has happened, tell you the truth, or do you want to work with somebody that's a guessing or worse, lying?
So that Don has been on the calls enough times. That is exactly, I mean, that's the perfect rendition of that script. Because when you sit down and how the market works, the only thing we know is what has happened. Those are called comps, although we don't say that, they're data points. All right. And that's for the fish we're biting, whatever analogy you want to make. So if the seller wants, the other thing you can do is take it to the ridiculous. So Don, just reverse it. So you're looking for the agent that's going to get you the most, right?
Right.
And what past sales in your neighborhood were somewhere between 425 and 475.
Yep. So far.
So do those numbers excite you?
Yeah. 500 excites me even better.
So if I agree to list it at 500 right now, are you willing to move forward?
Yeah. Why not?
No. I want you to push back. Say 500.
Well,
500.
I don't know that I'm going to get 500, but I think I can get 475.
Well, I'm going to take over the seller. So I want the agent who's going to give me the most, get me the most money.
Okay.
So all right. So this is how I'd handle that. Okay. So I understand. So all the past sales were under 450. So if they won't give you the number, so how would you feel if an agent came in and said 500, Don?
Well, I think they probably need the business, and we're not going to get 500. They're pulling my chain on that one.
Yeah, but you're saying you want the agent who's going to get you the most money. They're saying 500. Isn't that what you want?
That in a perfect world, right.
How about the next agent come in and said, I'll get you 600. What do you think?
Well, now we're getting into the ridiculous. That's not going to happen. So they must be their first listing and they're desperate. I don't want that.
Well, do you know why that's ridiculous? Because you set them up to be ridiculous.
What do you mean?
Well, because usually we want the agents that are going to get you the most. So you mentioned agents that's desperate. They're going to give you numbers that are going to sound great to your ears, but it's not going to happen. Because so somebody says, how about $1 million? At some point in time, your brain is going to kick in and say, that's not realistic. So clearly, that is not an approach that can be duplicated, and somebody can get lucky. When you want to work with somebody who's got a proven model, and I can show you how we're going to get you to that top dollar, then I'm going to go into the drawing, you guys. And I don't know, and we'll do it sometime. It's my drawing to top dollar, et cetera, et cetera. So that's where I wanted to go down. When you start talking about pricing, it's going to get uber important, guys, is that you're not going to have the market, the wind at your back like you had, and the market rising like it was to cover a bad listing price. So anyway, thank you for letting me pop in. I just wanted to make sure that I supported you. I'm going to come back and listen to you guys go forward. And Don, take it back.
Okay, great. Thanks, Danny.
A quick question.
Sure.
He was saying that we're basing it based on what was happening, but now we're seeing less offers on the houses. So how can we base it on the crazy high market that we have? How relevant is that objections now?
Well, it's still relevant because you're basing your price. Okay, in a crazy uplifting market, here's the top price. Asha, here are the top 3 prices that are sold in a crazy market. So, so Masha, do you think the market right now is moving towards you as a seller, or do you think it's now moving away from you?
Away.
Away from you, right? So if we got these numbers, here's the history. Right? I mean, here's what's sold. We can't deny, these are the real facts. That's in a hot market where, as Denny said, the wind is at our back. Now that we're going now we're going against the wind, do you think we're going to get higher prices or less?
Less.
Yeah. So we can use the past as a base, but we've got to take into account that now are there more listings for sale or less?
You're talking to me like to a seller right now,
Yeah,
correct?
you're the seller. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Are there more listings now or less than there were when these properties sold?
I mean, I see a lot of neighbors are listing, so I guess,
Yeah, we've actually gone from 6,000 homes in April. Now we're at 13,000. So buyers have more choices now, correct?
Yes.
So we may not get these 3 prices of 450, 455, and 458. However, However, we know that a buyer is going to be looking at the same data, right?
Yeah.
And the data shows them they've got more choices, right?
Mhm.
So we can still use what has happened in the past as reality, but we have to acknowledge that maybe it's not as hot as it once was. So we can be close. So how close to these prices do you want to list your home for?
Just want to sell it.
You just want to sell it, okay? And do you think I can sell your home?
I hope so. I mean, any
Okay.
agent can sell it in this market.
Right. Well, that makes two of us. So if you'll kindly endorse this paperwork, we can get started on it tomorrow, and we will see what the market is going to give you, right?
Okay. Where do I sign?
Right here. Here's
You
the
give
pen.
7%. Let me give you 7% for effort.
Perfect. Put me to work tonight. Great. So
Thank
to
you.
answer your question, and again, anybody else chip in here, I'm not the only one on this call.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
We want to use the comparative sales because that's Roman times. That's the Civil War. That's World War II. I mean, that's what's happened. And now we've got, this unrest here about what's happening in the market. We can't guess, but what happens if we guess wrong? Masha, we can't afford to guess wrong. You need to sell. You want to sell. We can use the past to base the price, but let's acknowledge the fact that we may only have 3 offers instead of 32. And then the market will always tell us the story, and then you can determine how much you're going to sell your home for. Does that make sense? Okay.
That's why we're not choosing the price for them. We're letting them determine the price. And
Right.
then when we have to ask for a price reduction, it's not because of us, it's because of the market who originally
Price
chose it.
Price adjustment. Learn
Right.
that one because they
Right.
hate price reduction.
Right. Or repositioning. So Masha, what we'll do tonight is obviously we've got the 3 sales at 450, 455, and 458. There's a couple of pendings in your neighborhood, and they were listed there as well. We don't know what they sold for, but one thing for sure is as we get started tonight, right? There's only 3 outcomes when it comes to selling the home. Number 1 is the property receives little action, right? 0 to no showings. So then we're going to have to reposition ourselves, right?
Mhm.
Masha?
Yeah.
Right? Number 2, we could have a bunch of showings, but we still don't get any offers. We're going to have to reposition it again. Number 3 is we want to get the property sold. So these properties sold at 450, 455, and 458. Based on what's that happened, where do you want to price your home?
Like 490.
490?
It's a nice number.
That's a nice number. Is it real? Based on these comps, is it realistic?
I mean, I want to try it out for maybe 2 weeks just to see, maybe we get that number.
So you want to try 490 for just 2 weeks?
Yeah, and the Zillow is telling me it's around that number. So,
Okay. So we listed tonight at 490. And if we have number 1 receives little action or no showings, are you ready then to reposition ourselves into a price where it's going to sell?
maybe.
Okay. So if you were sick and I was a doctor and I gave you this medication that was going to heal you, would you maybe take it or would you take it?
I would read side effects. No, I would.
You would take it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do this. How'd you like to have your cake and eat it too?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Can I pick the flavor too?
You can pick the flavor too, but that flavor is only going to be for 2 weeks at 490.
Okay.
Okay. And then we're also going to approve us going to 455 2 weeks from today if number 1 shows up. Are you okay with that?
Would you also reduce commission at that point? If we don't get that number?
Well, of course, my commission is going to be reduced because the price got reduced. Right? I mean, we're in this together, Masha, right? You want to work with someone that's fighting and working with you or someone that's fighting against you?
No, fighting with me.
Let's fight together. So go ahead. And if you'll just put me to work tonight at 490 for 2 weeks, then we're going to go to then we're going to come into reality at 450. if we don't find that California buyer falling off the turnip truck, okay?
Okay. Hmm, okay.
Was that a yes? Because here's a pen.
Yeah, I'm not excited, but okay.
What are you not excited about?
Because I really want 490.
Yeah, well, I want to play shortstop for the Red Sox too, but they're not going to take a 64-year-old guy.
You
So
never know unless you
you-
try for 2 weeks.
we are gonna try it for 2 weeks. And
Yeah.
again, if we get to number one and it's a big fat zero, the market told you the story, right?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So let's try Fantasyland for 2 weeks, but then we got to get into reality because you said you wanted to be in San Diego before the end of the summer, right?
Yep.
Okay, here's the good news. If we get into this for 3 or 4 days and you change your mind, you want to move it down from 490 to lower, we can always move it down, okay?
Okay.
Great. Any other thoughts? Sonny, was I on the model?
Very, very close. Yes. I think Denny, the only difference is Denny would have just taken it at 490 and then after said, so if the market says no, and that's how he would position it. But I think if she agreed to do 490, the way that he's run the model is he would take it and then talk to them about if the market says no.
You know, Denny said a great thing. Well, he says a lot of great things, but one thing that stuck in my head back when the market was nutso, you can't reduce the price on a home. You can't reposition. You can't adjust the price. You can't drop the price, however you want to say it. You can't do that on a listing that you don't have. So again, this is 6 months ago. Take the darn listing at any price, but get them to authorize, endorse, sign, whatever, this. So you can always come back if the market has changed.
That's a
So
price reduction addendum, correct?
However you want to have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can get this. There's initials. You can always come back to this. The point is, and I think still in this market, and I think Agni would agree because he's here in this market, take the darn listing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Be honest with
100%.
them. Be honest, 100% honest with them always. Acknowledge the fact that, okay, she wants more. And hey, Masha, that based on the comps, that might be Fantasyland. We could try Fantasyland for a little bit, but and if you really want to be in San Diego in 3 months, we may have to reposition. So take the listing, because once you have the listing, you can always reduce the price, adjust the price, again, reposition yourself. But this little baby backs you up. Hey, Sonny, do you remember Masha, we talked, 10 days ago, right? What happened? So I'm still of the belief, take the listing as crazy as they are.
Seriously?
Be honest with them.
There's no comps?
What's that?
If there's no comps for that, like if it's just crazy, like bigger houses go for that? Just take it?
I would still take the listing. You could always see if you can get an appraisal done ahead of time.
What if there's not enough motivation? Because you said, oh, I need to move. Like, what if these people are just looking to downsize if they can and take some cash out, but it's not necessary for them to move because they're comfortable? Would you still take that listing that doesn't have strong motivation?
It depends. Probably not. But I would know that before I went into the meeting, Masha, because I would pre-qualify, ask a series of questions.
Okay.
So I know their motivation. And it may be, Masha, I'm not your guy.
I'm gonna stop you for a second. Well, can I just add something to that? So I think that would depend. So what are we supposed to be able to get out of
We can't hear you well.
I think you have really bad signal.
Can't hear you.
You have really bad signal, I think.
Sonny, it's hard to hear you right now.
You're breaking up quite a bit. Huh?
She's on some other planet.
I think I'm freezing. Are you?
She's in
Can anyone
space.
hear me?
She's in
We can
space,
now.
that's why.
We can now.
I have a really bad signal. I am on another. What I wanted to say is that I think that if you have the intention that if they don't have a lot of motivation, but you're going to do the work with that listing, what can you expect to get from a listing?
More listings.
And
More
A buyer, maybe.
exposure,
buyers.
more fires. A buyers.
Correct. So if you do your, yes.
Huh.
Yes. So if you do your job, once you take that listing, but you're both on the same, you both know what the expectation is, which is if they don't care if they sell it, but they want the price, great. You're going to do all the things that you're supposed to do
Mhm.
to get another listing and to get more buyers and then market that property.
Thank you.
Yes, you
Yeah,
may
I
get,
have
you may get two
space.
buyers. You might get 2 buyers off the sign. So therefore that paid for their lack of motivation. That's one way to look at it.
And their
Okay.
motivation might change throughout the listing. Some people might change. They might have a life event that happens during that time.
Right. Or one of them influences the other. Maybe the one that really wants to move, the dominant one is playing a game of not being motivated. But once they start having open houses and people coming through, it's like, you know what? If we're
See, the
gonna do this,
money. Eye on the money.
let's get more serious. Let's
I was gonna
adjust this
say,
price down. You know,
Yeah, the money talks. I actually have a seller. We listed vacant land, and he was not motivated when we listed. He wanted a crazy price. The market shifted. We had the conversation. We repositioned, and
Okay.
it's sold. It's
so let's
it's
roll
pending.
let's role play that. I'll be the guy with the vacant. Oh, who wants to be the person with the vacant land? Anybody else? Come on, somebody wants to.
I'll be. Okay, go.
Well,
go.
Masha, you just did that. Let's give an opportunity to somebody else. Thank you.
Okay.
I can be the, I can
There
be
you go. Who's that?
Mari Torres. Mari.
Mari. Okay, Mari, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, Don, I have this land. I want to sell it for $300,000.
Okay, Keith, you're the agent, Keith. Here you
Okay.
go.
Okay.
Remember the model. Remember the model.
Yeah, absolutely. Who am I talking to?
Mary. Mari.
Mari.
Mari, is it?
Yes.
Okay. I just don't want to say it wrong. Okay. So, other than the 600,000, is there anything else that you're looking to get out of listing the land? Like, is there a time frame we're working with?
No, I am not in a hurry. I want to get $600,000, and I had this land for 20 years. If I get 600, good. If I don't, I'm just gonna keep it.
All right. So when we list land and properties for sale there, oh wait, hold on a second. No, I acknowledged, I isolated, that's it. Okay, and then address. Okay, so when we list properties for sale, 3 things typically happen. So there'll be little to no showings, there'll be a few showings and maybe some offers, or there'll be a lot of showings and a lot of offers. And the market really determines that price. So 600,000, if we list that 600,000 and we wait, say 2 weeks, and we don't have any showings, what do you think we should do?
Well, I'm not in a hurry. I can stay in the market for 2 months until we find the right buyer to pay for
600,000,
this.
you mean?
Yeah.
So the longer it stays up at that price point, do you think that the buyers that are buying right now would pass right past that?
I think the right buyer will show up for my land, and I'm not in a hurry.
Right. So I totally understand that.
Keith, what happens if they don't?
Oh, okay. So what happens if you don't have any buyers make any offers or come see the property at 600,000?
Well, if I'm 2 months in the market and nobody offers, maybe I'll reduce the price, but not much. I'll reduce it to 550.
Okay, cool. Yeah, absolutely. So when we reposition, and it's been on the market, it tends to carry a bit of a stigma that something might be wrong with your property, and we definitely don't want that. It's a beautiful house. So would you be open to repositioning, say, 2 weeks after listing at 6?
No, I mean, 2 months.
2 months. Okay. So I'm stuck. She's got me.
What's magical about 2 months?
Okay. So what
Say that
can I
again,
ask you?
Don, because
What is magical about the 2 months?
Is she breaking up? So can I ask you why 2 months is the magic number?
I think that when the right buyer shows up and finds my land, he will pay the price for my land. And since I am not in a hurry, I think there will be the buyer. There will be a buyer.
So you think 2 months is the right time frame?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I jump in? Can I jump in, Keith?
Yes,
And let's do it together, okay? So Mari, let's say you're a buyer. You were a buyer for this land once because you bought it. So if you came across a piece of dirt that you really liked and it was 600,000 and you saw that it had been on the market for 2 months, what would you pay?
Well, if they see that this land that I have comparing to the other ones in that area is the best on that corner and it's really close to the new commercial building, and this land has more than the other lands.
Okay, I get it. It's got a lot of good stuff going for it, but it didn't really answer my question. So knowing all that as a buyer, God, it's a great lot. It's close to everything you just said. How come no one else has bought it yet? What's going to go through the buyer's head?
How this, I guess they are going for other lands in that area. They don't appreciate my land.
Well, they don't appreciate your land, but let me ask you, if it was $100,000, do you think they'd appreciate it?
Probably, yeah, because
Okay.
I mean, it's, yeah, the
Right.
price is a lot lower.
Sure. So if it were $300,000, do you think you'd have some appreciation from buyers?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And how about 900,000?
No, I don't think so. That's way too high. I mean,
Right.
even though what I have, I think they wouldn't pay that much money.
Right. So my question of if it's at 600,000 and now it's been 60 days in what is one of the hottest markets we've ever seen, as a buyer, they know all that. What question is going to be going through their head? There's got to be only one thing wrong with this property. And what is it?
The price.
Because they don't have buyers.
Buyer. What do you think a buyer would think about that property? What's the one thing they'd be saying if everything else was perfect?
That they can offer less for the property.
Right. And as a seller, if you get a lower offer, do you have to take it?
No.
No. No one can force you to sell a home, right? Or a property, right?
Right.
Right. And if we have no offers, though, we don't ever have that opportunity, correct?
Correct.
Right. So pricing it to a point where someone's going to bite on it will at least give you the opportunity to entertain an offer that maybe we can drive up in price. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The longer we stay, though, at the higher price, the longer you're going to own the property. And we know a buyer is going to eventually offer less, correct?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So do we want to start at 600 right now and go for a certain amount of time? Or would you rather just get this property sold now and list it at 550?
Yeah, why don't we start at 600 and just shorten the amount of time to change the price down? I mean, how about 2 weeks?
Okay, so we'll list it at 600 for 2 weeks. Let's see what the market brings. And then after 2 weeks, we'll come down to, we'll reposition that at 550 and see what kind of fish bite at that price. Is that correct?
Yes.
It
Yeah.
sounds like a win-win to me. So all we have to do now is simply put me to work. Here you go. Here's a pen.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Does that help? Does that answer the question?
You know,
Anybody?
Yeah, I was gonna go with rates too. I was trying to fit it in, but with like trying to address at one point and then think of my next move at the same time, that was tricky. So, but the rates, because buyers are getting knocked out. So listing high, you're cutting out all the people that are being affected by the interest rates going up.
Well, and Keith, I appreciate that. Again, whether the interest rates are 9% or 6% or 2%, if a property's sitting still, it's one thing, it's price. And to go into all that, we're just kind of burning a lot of words. So it's always price. One of my first coaches, and he's in the MREA book, Tim Wood, the lesson was, hey, Don, the rats can be eating the cockroaches inside the house. If it's priced right, it's going to sell.
That's awesome.
You know, if the rats are eating the cockroaches, the house can still sell if it's priced right. So it's always, like Denny said, the motivation, it's price. It's price, 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 price. So you can disguise it any way you want. But again, these discussions, and I hope you guys took some notes, these discussions, the role play, the practice, it's just giving you more arrows in the quiver that you can bring out. Remember, you don't want to make them wrong. You don't want to get into an argument. We're just giving them the facts. We're certainly not lying to them. We're just giving them the facts. What if that doesn't happen? I know we're close to being, the plane is landing. Any final thoughts, Sunny?
Today was awesome, Don. You're amazing. I love hearing from active listing agents. You can tell, obviously, you do this every day. Thank you so much. Does anyone have anything they wanted to share with Don? Any golden nuggets?
Thank you for letting me speak. I know I'm not very often here, but I appreciate the feedback. Thank you.
Sure. It's just about us all getting better. Let's go with takeaway. Denny wouldn't end it without one or two takeaways. What'd you learn?
I probably will never forget other than that. It's going to be drilled into my head from now on.
Other than that. Good.
Oh,
Well,
authorize the contract, not sign. And there was another term.
Endorse, approve the paperwork. That's old Tommy Hopkins. I was trained in a different system where I just pounded in my head, sign the contract, but that can be like Denny says, you know. So again, have other words, have other things to say. All right?
I'll never forget if the rats are eating the cockroaches, it's still price.
You can say that to a seller. They always laugh. Like, hey, Keith, I appreciate you want 600,000. You know, let me share with you what a coach told me a long time ago. If the rats could be eating the cockroaches, but if we got the wrong price, I don't care that you got the most beautiful home. If it's the wrong price, it isn't going to sell. We got to talk price. So I got 1102, and in the immortal words, I can't remember the chief's name at Hill Street Blues, but I know Denny does. Well, how does he always end the call? Thank you, and be careful out there.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sonny. Appreciate the opportunity. Bye-bye.
Great weekend. Bye.